All right. So, what's up? What have you been doing when we're not when not sleeping?
Well, fortunately, I still found some time to catch up on a few things, and wouldn't you know it, that the community is still busy as ever. So I've got a few things that I'd like to share
All right,
that I came
coming up
across.
here. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. So first things first, James Robinson released a new version of the OpenIntuneBaseline, aptly named the Post-MMS edition, which is fantastic. A whole bunch of changes in here, as you can see, new policies. Did he add something for CIS4? I'm not sure yet. It doesn't look like it. But I know one of the big things he called out here at the top were policies for M365 apps for enterprise. So wanted to call this out. We've talked about OpenIntuneBaseline a few times. I think it even came up during office hours last week because James had a session on it at MMS. So great resource here if you aren't sure where to get started with baselines. Another cool one, a little bit out of the norm of what we would normally share, but I thought this was interesting. I happened to stumble in a session around Git with Haley Phillips and Matt Zaske last week, and Haley had this cool PowerShell setup that apparently I was not the only person interested in this. So I have been familiar with, and some of you may have noticed, even when I do demos here on this machine, of an application called Oh My Posh, which kind of gives you this nice, well, I think it's nice, but I think this could be very subjective. This nice UI in the PowerShell terminal or console that will give you some additional information about contextual information about the directory that you're working in is one example. So maybe you're in a directory that actually has a Git branch. So you'll see here in Haley's screenshot, she's in a directory that is also in a main Git branch. But she had some other additions in there. So I noticed, for example, when she started to type in some directories, the suggestions would automatically be populated just below where she was typing, and some other customizations as well. So I know plenty of people that like to keep their console absolutely vanilla, but if you like to do a little bit more customization, something that fits into your workflow, makes things a little bit more fun or interesting, or just more, most importantly, more efficient for you, definitely recommend checking out Haley's blog post here, because there are some pretty cool recommendations, I think. Then I came across this one just posted today by Jose Shinardi over on the MS Endpoint Manager blog, Intune Mermaid. So this PowerShell module that Jose created basically takes assignments of applications and profiles in Intune, and using this PowerShell module spits out a mermaid diagram for you that looks like this. So you can actually visualize where your applications are assigned to, what groups they're assigned to, whether or not they're required, available, uninstall, install, that sort of thing. And this just does a really nice job of some simple but effective diagrams to actually help you visualize that stuff. I can't wait to play around with this because I just saw it maybe 2 hours ago.
Excuses.
I know. I need to get on top of it. This is me at 80%. And then last but not least, another thing that another article that I came across from Microsoft that I thought would be worth sharing is we now have Hotpatch out there for Windows 11. I saw a couple folks posting about their devices actually using it for the May cumulative update. And so Microsoft posted a frequently asked questions article around Hotpatch. So you could see some of the high level themes that they covered, the definitions, eligibility and availability, ARM64, troubleshooting, and some other information about those updates. So I wanted to get this out there as well. But those are the cool things that I had for this week.
All right, then let me go ahead and steal the screen for a little bit. There we are. So first of all, a friendly reminder, our office hours live from last week, that recording is available. I believe it turned to be our longest office hours yet, an hour and a half, but still, there was a great content, some great questions and interactions. If you missed it, by all means, catch up on that recording. And speaking of MMS information, this is pretty cool. There is not just one, but there are actually multiple options to catch up on what MMS is all about. First off, Andrew and I, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time, we will be doing what we call our MMS highlights. We spent about 50 minutes going through what we picked up from the conference, me mostly remotely, Andrew certainly live in Minneapolis. And then we also have our friend over in Bellevue, Washington, or state of Washington, I should say. NWSCUG are hosting an event on Friday. So you can actually catch both. You can join us tomorrow and you can join this one on Friday. And they usually also broadcast these. Let's see. Yeah, they will do it online as well, Teams as well as in person in Bellevue. But I do recommend, if you have a chance to be in the area, go in person. It's always super fun to be part of those user groups over there. And as you can see here, they do also spend an hour in the afternoon about an MMS recap. So highly recommended. Then I stumbled across a tweet from Per Larson, former Microsoft MVP. These days he works for Microsoft, but he highlighted me on that there is a new episode of Windows in the Cloud where Christian basically sit down and interview the Intune leadership, Jason himself. It was I just were able to catch a little bit of it, but I highly recommend watching that one. That's something I'm going to do this evening, finish up that episode. I just stumbled across it, even though it was published a couple of days ago. So that's on my to-do list for the evening. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, that was a support tip. If you do stumble across SyncML error 500 types errors, there was a little troubleshooting guideline that Microsoft, one of their support engineer posted, Brett Locke here, that if you start to see that in your tenant, this is a little bit of information on what you can do to solve that. So figured it was worth mentioning. Then pretty much everyone at MS Endpoint Manager posted about this stuff. I picked Sandy because that happened to come up first, but if you are doing hybrid join with autopilot, you shouldn't. But if you are, I mean, sometimes you don't really have a choice. Make sure to update your connector. And that's the connector for the offline domain join, because the old connector will be blocked starting July 1. You can be in for a bit of a surprise if you don't update that connector. I saw Steve Weiner actually did a video earlier today about us as well. I saw it popping up with the feed, but just make sure that you are updated on that connector if you are doing hybrid joins. And then something that made me all warm and fuzzy smiling was this one here, a troubleshooting Intune issues post. And as much as I love troubleshooting, that's not what made me smile. It was the platform. My IT forum has been back for a little bit now, but for those of you that didn't know, back in the early 2000s, 2004, 2005, my IT forum, that was it. If you were into systems management, that was the forum you used at the time. And Rod Trent was the like to say the architect, but the founder of that forum, and he's still around, and he has now revised or how do you say it? Revived? Is that the word?
Yeah.
The forum is back, and it makes
Yep.
me so happy. And if you're just for the fun of it, I believe that the old site is still archived. It was for a long time, so let me double check that live. What can possibly go wrong? So if you search for myitforum.com, oh yeah, you can go back here to 2005 and get a bit of a blast from the past on what that forum used to look like back in the days. We'll load here in a minute, hopefully. It says loading at least. I take that as a good sign. Yeah,
There you go.
you recognize so many people that you see on conferences today that actually started their career back in these days.
Hey, I recognize the author of that third post there.
Oh, yeah, that one. How to add a RAM disk to WinP 2005. Yeah, that was a time when there was none. That was... Now it has one, scratch space and all, but back then it didn't. So, yeah, that was fun. I remember doing a post about HAL replacement, turned out to be one of the most read posts on the platform at the time for Windows XP. But
Wow.
yeah. Anyhow, just fun memories. Just
Yeah.
sitting here giggling, basically. It's just awesome. And finally, for those of you that upgraded ConfigMgr to 2503, this showed up, I think it was this weekend, in my tenant. Anyway, I updated it earlier today. Oh, yesterday, in the morning. So it bumps up the version from this to this. There was no client version in this one, at least not what I could see. But it does fix a problem with Pixie that organizations were having. So sometimes it would prompt for a password, even if you didn't have set the password. And there was some other cryptographic changes in the release. So make sure to install that patch if you are on 2503.
Did that include if you installed it on the slow ring too, or just the fast ring? Did you happen to notice?
It must be... I only had it in the fast ring.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's... But time-wise, I think they announced the slow ring earlier than April 23. Don't hold me to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Basically, if it shows up in your tenant, then it didn't.
Right.
So
Fair enough.
yes.